So as blacks, every single time we are faced with the challenge of speaking like British, speaking like Americans to gain acceptance or to feel superior or to feel important in our society because we think if we speak like they are, then we are showing superiority above our contemporaries, firstly, and secondly, probably get acceptance in the West. So maybe when we travel there and all of this stuff, or when we're speaking to those people out there, we want to sound like them. But understand that if you're doing this to get acceptance, then you are actually having what we call problem solution mismatch. Because fundamentally, people who are there that are black, that were born there, dressed like them, speak like them, developed the culture of the West, are still identified as blacks. And if there's any form of racial segregation, discrimination, whatsoever, abuse, whatsoever, they still face it. If the apogee of your expectation, of your own desire to speak like these people is to get acceptance, then I think that you're actually going to still identify as a black, whether or not you decide to speak like them because your skin color is going to give you out. But most importantly, why is it important for you to be proud of where you come from? And in identity, showcase the way you speak this English, typical black, right? We understand that within the African continent, there are different accents. The way the Ghanaians speak this English is different from the way we speak as Nigerians. The way South Africans speak is different from the way people in Kenya speak. And so it means that we have, a plurality of accents in the way we speak this English. English was bequeathed to us by colonizers. And we think it is fundamental for us to accept that and try to speak this English as we speak, as it is influenced by our accents. Now let's look at people from Asia, people from the Middle East, Far East, Russians, people from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and all of those countries. Look at Indians, look at Chinese people, look at how they speak. Listen to how they speak English. You can tell when a Russian is speaking English that this is Russian. They do not try to speak perfectly as the Americans will speak the English. They do not try to speak perfectly as the British will speak the English because the accent of the British and the accent of Americans are traditional accents to them in the way they speak this English. So why should you now try to abdicate your own accents, abdicate your own mother tongue interference in the way you speak this English and try to speak like them? It is you running away from your originality and adopting a kind of speaking mannerism that is not traditional to the way you speak. Understand ultimately that if you decide to speak in this way, it still doesn't guarantee acceptance because, as I said earlier, there are blacks who have adopted the culture in entirety of the West, but have also faced the highest level of discrimination, racial abuse, and all of the other bad things that you can imagine that's happening in the West. But I think that we all, as Africans, must be proud of the kind of way we speak because it is traditional to us and it's not alien. Language is fundamental in our cultural heritage as a people, and the way we speak our language would definitely influence the way we speak another person's language because of how we sound and pronounce words in our own language. And that's what mother tongue interference is. So whether you speak English as an Hausa person, whether you speak English as an Igbo person, whether you speak English as a Yoruba person, you speak English as a Twi person, whether you speak English as a Zulu person, whether you speak English from any part of the African continent, the extent where you try to run away from the mother tongue that influences that English, then you're doing what is wrong. But understand that this video is not for everybody who just speaks English, but the video is mainly for those people who have a significant influence in the way they speak, the significant influence of their mother tongue in their accent when they speak English. This video is for them. It's for them to feel proud of the way they speak, not minding how they sound and how they pronounce these words. To the extent where the basic form of speaking correctly, pronouncing tenses, making proper tenses, understanding the way stress patterns work, even if accent influences stress patterns and all of those things, just try to speak the basic form of English, but do not run away from the way you sound when you speak this English. It is important that we protect our heritage, our language, totally jettisoning it just to prove a point of being more modern. Modernization or globalization doesn't support abdicating your own culture and adopting a single culture. It's rather promoting your own culture, even while accepting divergent cultures, and that's what globalization is, and not necessarily about trying to run away from your own culture and just accept one other culture as a central culture. That is not globalization. You must be proud of the way you speak and how you sound in the way you speak. My name is Victor Bisong, and in my opinion, I think this is the best for all Africans to adopt. See you next week for the next episode of the next video.